So let's look at the case, which unfortunately the victim was a newborn baby boy and did not even have a name. Shame. My goodness. So the suspect in this case is Laken Snelling. Laken was born December 1st of 2003 in White Pine, Tennessee, to parents Terry and Michelle Snelling. And she has one older sister with the name Autumn, which is a beautiful name, right? A rando from Iowa said, wow, time flies. You've been a member for 34 months. Thank you so much. While I interrupt quickly, if you wouldn't mind checking if your like button works, everyone. Like, share, and please leave a comment below afterwards as well. Now, from a young age, Laken participated in beauty pageants and cheerleading, growing up in a family that split their time between Tennessee and Kentucky due to family roots in both states. Okay, Tennessee and Kentucky, all right? So she attended Jefferson County High School, where she was very popular, and she was actually crowned the homecoming queen in 2021. A lot of reports say approximately 2021. Seems to check out timeline-wise. She also participated in local pageants like Miss Teen Jefferson County and the Fairest of the Fair. So what people that knew her are reporting is that she was obsessed with having the perfect image. But that's, of course, all hearsay. That's just what people are saying that knew her. But it makes sense with being, you know, in the spotlight like this with the pressure and the pageants and everything, right? Okay. So, Snarky Bear says, rest in peace, sweet baby boy. Yes, shame. Now, classmates described her as outgoing and popular, often seen leading cheers at games. But some peers, again anonymous and not verified by court records, described her as a typical mean girl and said she was obsessed with her appearance, her popularity, and even bullied others. One friend allegedly transferred schools due to, well, I guess one peer, not a friend, huh? Allegedly transferred schools due to the bullying that she experienced from Laken, while others claim that there was this incident where she tried to run over a person with her Jeep. Man, it really sounds almost like that movie Mean Girls. It's like really the typical movie Mean Girl. Terrible. I don't like bullies. In 2022, she enrolled at the University of Kentucky in Lexington, where she majored in, and this I found interesting, given that type of personality that people are describing, allegedly, interdisciplinary disability studies. That's what she was majoring in, which focuses on disability rights, social barriers, and inclusivity. Like, how can an alleged bully study that? Well, that's a good thing to study then, actually, but you know what I mean? Is that a way to clean up the reputation, or did you actually want to study that? How are you going to treat people if people are saying you were such a damn bully? I don't know. Just that one baffled me a little bit. She joined the university's stunt team, which is similar to competitive cheerleading. So this sport emphasizes tosses, pyramids, and tumbling, and Laken was usually a top performer, often at the pyramid's peak, which is quite hectic. Imagine that. You know, it's quite high risk sport, and you really have to be good at what you do, especially if you're going to be at the top of the pyramid. Right, if you've seen any of this type of sport. And she was smiling in team photos. She dressed up for Halloween in 2024 as an expectant mother. That's freaking ironic, because she likely got pregnant in December. If you just look at the timeline. Oh my word. Why was that a Halloween outfit as well? Why? Okay, so anyway, and it says, which was captured by TikToker Abby Blabby and viewed by US Weekly in a since deleted video posted by the University of Kentucky stunt team. In the video, Snelling is asked if she'd rather spend the night in a haunted house or a creepy cemetery. And she said, a haunted house. Wow. So that is just very ironic. If that's karma or what, I don't know. I don't even know what to call that. Phew. Now, stunt videos from April of 2025 have sparked online discussions about her pregnancy being visible, even though she was trying to hide it, apparently, and yet she was still performing high-risk stunts like flips. So there's actually a lot of photos that people are posting everywhere saying, here she looks pregnant, and there she looks pregnant. I don't really like to do that, but it seems like timeline-wise she would have been, because she did give birth to a baby boy on August 27th of 2025. So if you just look at that timeline, yeah, she likely got pregnant in December of 2024. So any pictures from whichever, the second trimester or whatever you want to say, when it starts being visible, right? Okay, from then people are like, look at this, look over there. She was at a fair, she was at this place, she was doing that, those stunts still. And I mean, you could see a little bit. Yeah, you can see it a little bit, right? So she had no prenatal care, which is also what indicates to the police that, okay, so you were trying to hide it, right? And reports from new court documents allege that she deleted pregnancy searches on her phone. Oh, Uncle Google's gonna get you. Uncle Google's going to get her big time, right? Deleting. Wow, she was deleting pregnancy searches. Her roommate suspected that she was pregnant, but never asked. Okay. Right. I wonder how she hid it from her current, well, most recent boyfriend. I don't have current, most recent. Okay, so now let's look at the timeline of August 27th of 2025. Before we dive into this presentation, I will first show you a news clip. Okay, so let's look at this one quickly.
Lexington police say they responded here to a home on Park Avenue Wednesday morning for an unresponsive infant that was found inside a closet. 21-year-old Laken Snelling is now behind bars at the Fayette County Detention Center after police say she admitted to what happened. Snelling was arrested Saturday, August 30th, and has been charged with abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant. According to her arrest citation, the newborn was found in a towel inside of a black trash bag. The citation goes on to say that Snelling admitted to giving birth, then trying to hide it by cleaning any evidence. Police say she placed the used cleaning items inside of a black trash bag, along with the baby, who was wrapped in a towel. The University of Kentucky did confirm that Snelling is a student athlete and has been a member of the stunt team for the last 3 seasons. Snelling is scheduled to appear in front of a Fayette County judge tomorrow afternoon for her arraignment. We're going to be...
So that was ages ago. Well, YouTube's ages ago. Years ago, 3 weeks ago or so. All right, so now that you have that little preview, we can now look at the presentation again. This comes with a trigger warning. It's very upsetting information to hear what happened to this baby boy. Now, August 27th of 2025, at 10:34 a.m., a Lexington police dispatcher received a 911 call about the discovery of a newborn baby in the closet of an off-campus home on the 400 block of Park Avenue, Laken Snelling's apartment. And she had roommates, so it was apparently 2 of her roommates that were very suspicious of her, had suspected that she was pregnant but didn't want to ask. And when they heard all sorts of weird noises, like something was falling or whatever, and Laken's message to them, they thought, let's go check out her room. And they went to check out her room, and I cannot imagine, they must also be 20 or 21. And what they discovered, wow, is shocking. You know, a bloody towel, a trash bag, and a baby's body in the bag. So the caller said that the baby was cold to the touch. Sure, that must be so, what a scary discovery. For them to think, oh my word, we thought it. We thought she was hiding pregnancy this whole time, and now look at this. So they thought she was acting a little bit suspicious that day, and I'm really glad that they acted on their instincts, as scary as that was and traumatizing, I'm sure. Because imagine if they didn't, if they just went, oh well, never mind. Maybe then Laken would have successfully gotten rid of the baby's body. You know, so thankfully the friends, as soon as Laken had left the apartment, they went into a room and checked it out, and therefore the case against Laken is much stronger. Kim's Crazy Life said, I don't understand why these young women just don't give babies up for adoption. Yeah, or those, wait, I just want to get the right name. The safe haven baby boxes, and there was one just 10 minutes away from Laken's apartment. 10 minutes. So maybe she just didn't know about it. And so I'm going to be sharing a little bit about that because it's very important that people know that that is an option, right? Okay. So the caller said the baby was cold to the touch. Here's a quote from some of the documents that are being cited in the news reports. Complainant just found a dead baby in a closet. It's cold to the touch, the dispatcher noted. The baby was wrapped in a towel inside a black trash bag, which also had cleaning items in it. It appeared that the baby had been deceased for several hours before the discovery was made, before the police got there and everything, and we'll get to that timeline. Laken was not at the apartment when police responded. The infant was pronounced dead at the scene. Cause of death results are still pending, and they say it's complicated, of course, because it's a newborn baby, and they would now have to, the preliminary autopsy results were inconclusive, and they would have to see if they can prove were there pre-existing medical conditions. Was the baby alive? Did the baby die naturally? Was the baby neglected, suffocated, smothered? We don't know yet. We don't know yet. Scarlett Cook, thanks for being a member for 7 months. You said 7 months were the best YouTuber ever. Thanks, G, for all you do. Thank you so much. Okay, so that was August 27th, and things happened so quickly because of the friends, the roommates calling 911, the police coming out there. By the end of that day, by that afternoon, by 5 p.m., Laken Snelling was arrested. So a lot of the initial reports said that she was arrested on August 30th or August 31st, but that's just when she was actually checked into the jail. She was actually apparently arrested on August 27th of 2025. So according to Laken's arrest affidavit and recent court documents, she told the police that she gave birth to a full term. That is the most shocking thing. Man, when I saw that this week, I'm like, what? Because along the way, I've been kind of monitoring this case. I was aware of the case, but I hadn't deep dived it. And I'm just like, whoa, when I saw that, like a full term baby boy, because initially people suspected maybe she had a miscarriage or no one knew if she was really pregnant or what was going on, and the whole story just seemed a little bit fuzzy. But now I'm like, a full-term baby boy. She gave birth at 4 a.m. that day, and she told police this in her Park Avenue apartment. She said she was alone. She later told police that the baby showed, and this is now huge, this changes the case because it makes the case against her much stronger. She said the baby showed a little fetal movement and a whimper, suggesting the baby was briefly alive. She said she was awake for approximately 30 minutes and then passed out on top of the baby. Hours later, she woke up and found him turning blue or purple. And then decided, and you're going to rage like I did, I'm sure. She decided to wrap him like a burrito in a towel in order to give her comfort. I highlighted the word her. No, not to comfort the baby, not to give the baby dignity, respect, or anything, because of course after this she put the baby in a trash bag, but like, oh, to give her some comfort. Wow. So you lay on top of the baby, woke up hours later, the baby's like turning blue and purple, and then you decided to wrap him like a burrito. That just gives me all those Megan Boswell vibes all over again, doesn't it? If you watch the trial with me, Megan Boswell, yeah, then you know. And so she allegedly took Snapchat photos during labor and then deleted them. Oh, the digital forensics evidence is going to be very, very damning in her case, but terrible at the same time. To hear about, I mean, I don't know. Well, I hope we don't ever see those exhibits, so they sound scary as all hell. She's taking pictures of her during labor and then deleting pictures. Okay. According to an arrest citation, Snelling admitted to giving birth and concealing the birth by cleaning any evidence, placing all cleaning items used inside of a black trash bag, including the infant who was wrapped in a towel. I can't. It's just, I don't know what kind of person does this. And people will say, well, she's only 21 and like, I don't know, shame or whatever. I've seen a lot of different opinions online. I just mostly want to stick to the timeline, but at the same time, it makes me so angry. Because even if you're trying to hide the pregnancy and all of that, you know, up to that moment when it's just you alone with your newborn baby boy, like, what are you doing? This is very sinister, right? Misty H said, thank you, Grizzly. Grizzlies and the best mods for a wonderful YouTube community. Thank you all for being here. When she woke up, she saw the infant turning blue and purple. She told police she believed the baby was dead and wrapped him like a burrito to lie next to him because it gave her comfort. Search warrants show that police examined her phone, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and iCloud. They apparently say she shared the iCloud account with her mother, so I think the defense attorneys will, whatever's on the iCloud account, try to throw that out, being like, well, it's her mother's account as well. They found pregnancy searches, labor photos she deleted, and evidence of a concealed pregnancy. Wow. My goodness. So roommates said they heard loud noises, like something falling, for about an hour, but dismissed it. Remember, that was 4 a.m. when Laken says she was giving birth. So at 4 a.m, the roommates are like, what is that? Like, we keep hearing things like something is falling, and clearly how scary for them to even think back, holy crap, she was in labor in the bathroom? By 7:30 a.m., Laken put the baby's body in a trash bag with the bloody towel and cleaning supplies and hid the evidence in her closet. She then showered. Oh my word, the way she functions afterwards also tells me a lot. She then showered, messaged her roommates at 8:48 a.m. and said, because they were saying like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And she said, passed out from not eating, seeing a doctor, and then she left. But she'd stuffed the baby in a closet, in a trash bag. Wow. So she went to the university, but she decided to bunk her 9:30 a.m. class. So she just sat in her car and ordered McDonald's. How? How do you do that? How do you do that? I understand people need to eat, but like in this situation, how the F do you do that? After all that, you're going to leave the apartment knowing there's a deceased baby in your closet. And you're going to sit outside the university and use your app and casually scroll on your phone after all the horrible Snapchat photos you also are probably busy deleting in that moment, and then order some McDonald's. That is just, I was like, oh my word, no. Okay, so she picked up her order and then drove to the university's clinic because she wanted to get checked out or whatever. She seems very selfish, hey? But she didn't go in, and she decided to go home. According to documents, Snelling's roommates sent messages to each other after hearing loud noises. Snelling reportedly told the roommates that she fainted from not eating and was going to see a doctor. She reportedly ordered McDonald's, picked up her food, then went to the UK student clinic where she also did not go inside, and then returned home according to the affidavit. I'm just showing you screenshots from what they cite from it. Whoa. Later, her friends checked out her room and then found the baby boy in the closet, as we know from earlier from that timeline, right? Okay. By the way, if I'm using South African words, like when I said she bunked her class, that means she skipped it. She skipped her class entirely. She actually left the apartment with the intention of attending her 9:30 a.m. class. Can you imagine? Like, can you imagine being like, I have showered and changed and off I go. Like, what a horrific morning. Do you really think you can hide all that? I'm so glad that the roommates were quite aware, hey? They were like, we need to look into that. But like, you're going to go to class, that's your intention, and then you decide, nah, I'm just going to sit out. I'm going to sit this one out and order McDonald's. Just scroll on my phone. I wonder if she texted her boyfriend at that time. That's going to be interesting too, to see who she texted, what she said, how she behaved, because that's going to count against her, of course, right? Gloria said she's 21. She isn't a teenage mother, so she can't use that excuse, right? I see that as well being said a lot online. People saying, shame, but she's just, I don't know, young or whatever, but people are like, she's 21, right? Okay, so by 11:18 a.m., Laken was detained by the police. Flock cameras tracked her vehicle. That's amazing that they implemented that so quickly as well. By noon, she had confessed to the birth of a baby and concealment. She said she needed to be checked out. So now she wanted medical attention. Now she's at the police station. They're like, we need to talk to you. We found a dead baby in your closet. And she's like, oh, yeah, I did give birth, and I would like to be checked out. Oh, my word, it's not 5-star accommodation. What do you mean? I mean, so they gave her a medical evaluation, of course. Sussex Sandra said, did she live in a state where termination is difficult? I'm trying to understand why she didn't take action if she didn't want a baby. True evil. Apparently, yes. I think it's illegal there, right? If I'm not mistaken. I don't want to get into topics that get too political, but yes, I think termination there is illegal. Okay, so, but again, that's where the safe haven boxes, come into play, where she could have had the baby, put the baby in the car, and dropped off the baby at one of those safe haven places, which is exactly what they're there for, and was 10 minutes from her house. So instead of ordering McDonald's and sitting outside the university, go there instead. There's other ways to deal with it, right? Okay, so of course hindsight's 20/20, but still, let's hope this is foresight for others if this ever happens to anyone else. Okay, this is not at all the way to solve any problem like that. Like, what are you doing? Shame. And that poor baby, oh my goodness. So, all right. So then she said she needed to be checked out and told officers that she guessed the baby was still alive. Sometimes she says she didn't think the baby was alive, but in some of the reports she says, well, I guess, because she reported a little fetal movement. Who talks like that? Like, what the hell, woman? Oh my word. A little fetal movement and also a whimper. Yeah, I think that would show you that your child is alive. Wow. Until you lie on top of him, allegedly. There's no murder charges yet. The Lexington Police Department's Special Victims Section began investigating the case. In a letter to the Attorney General, Lexington Police said their reason for not releasing the call, this 911 call that was made, is that the caller pleaded for confidentiality. Of course, when there's a trial, which I'm sure there will be, unless she pleads guilty, of course. Right now, she's pleaded not guilty to all counts. But if and when there's a trial, yeah, they're going to play that 911 call. She was arrested at 4:58 p.m. on August 27th of 2025. By August 31st, she was formally charged with abuse of a corpse. It's a Class D felony, and the time she would face is 1 to 5 years and or a $10,000 fine. Tampering with evidence, 1 to 5 years, and concealing an infant birth, Class A misdemeanor, 1 year, $500. To me, that is just not a lot of time. Even if you go 5, 10, 11 years. Wow, if someone is capable, and I'm just saying this as separate to the case because she's not charged with murder charges or anything yet at this time. Today is September 29th of 2025. But if someone is capable of killing a child, wow, that's a dangerous, dangerous person. You know, people who hurt children, animals, the elderly, all of that, very, very dangerous. People who kill in general, dangerous. But these are like, wow, really? Anyway, so Angie said, thank you, G, for all you do. Being a Grizzly is a whole vibe. I do like that comment. Thank you so much. Beverly, thanks for being a member for 29 months. She was held at the did I say it right? The Fayette County Detention Center, but later released on bond, right? Mimi says a child who has already been born isn't a fetus. Yeah, Mimi, right? She said it. Her quote is, there was a little fetal movement. We'll go back here where she said to the police, what now? So they arrested her. Yes, she sat in the car, as we know. Flock cameras checked out. Yeah, okay. Where's that quote of hers? That was, she said, they dismissed her. She sat in the car. Sorry, I'm trying to find where she said a little fetal movement. Like, what the hell is she saying? Oh, my word. And so detached, hey? So detached. That's her own child. Like, I don't know if she gets it. Like, that was your child, right? Okay, so moving on. That's a mugshot of her, by the way. She was released on bond later that day with no ankle monitor. She's staying at her parents' house. Apparently, she now is not allowed to travel and has an ankle monitor. But initially, she was released on bond, no ankle monitor required, could travel. And I'm like, whoa, that's so scary. September 1st to 4th, warrants on Laken's phone or iCloud uncovered deleted pregnancy searches and labor selfies. Can you imagine? Like, labor selfies. Documents state things ordinary pregnant woman would not do. There's also another quote that says, by wrapping the infant in towels and placing it inside of a black trash bag, the listed suspect treated the corpse in a way that would outrage ordinary family sensibilities. Yeah, so September 2nd, Laken withdrew from the University of Kentucky. She had to. And she was arraigned and pleaded not guilty to all counts. Her attorney is Brandon Marshall. She posted bond. There was a $100K bond, and has been on house arrest in Tennessee with no ankle monitor, where she's staying with her mommy and daddy, with her parents. Phew, I wonder what they're thinking at this point. Now, on September 3rd of 2025, the preliminary autopsy results were released by the coroner, Gary Jen. Results were inconclusive, which everyone was like, oh no, oh my word. So they said the baby was born August 27th, full term. Toxicology, placenta pending. There are reports that say that she placed the placenta in a Ziploc bag. Okay. She took a lot of steps that day, which will count against her. Isaiah, her ex-boyfriend, submits DNA September 5th to 6th. And Connor, her most recent boyfriend, has not been sampled yet. Okay, so if you follow the timeline, she was dating Isaiah when she would have fallen pregnant, which was around December of 2024. Imagine him being like, what? That is so sad. Okay, so this is thank you to Grizzly Cat for finding this for me. This is the Fayette County Coroner, Lexington, Kentucky press release from the coroner's office. And it's just, oh man, doesn't it just break your heart to see gender, male, age, 0. Wow. So it says cause of death. Preliminary autopsy has been completed. The findings are inclusive. Extensive microscopic analyses are essential to determine the cause and manner of death. And then it says circumstances. I understand the community's concern and sensitivity surrounding the death of a child. This death affects many lives in our neighboring state of Tennessee, as well as those in the Commonwealth. We are currently conducting a thorough and methodical death investigation to ensure all facts are carefully considered. The death investigation remains open pending the results of these studies. There's no additional information that can be released at this time. There will be updates as our death investigation continues. Please keep the family and friends, as well as the University of Kentucky friends, in your thoughts and prayers. Gary W. Ginn, Fayette County Coroner. And thinking of, if I had to speculate her motive, well, people said she was, some people described her as a serial bully. Damn, okay. A serial bully obsessed with her image. Okay. So it could be that, university, the cheerleading, but also being with this new boyfriend, and him not wanting to lose him, or not wanting him to know that she actually got pregnant from her ex-boyfriend. Allegedly, that's not been confirmed. I'm speculating. 100% speculation. They are still doing paternity tests. So it might turn out to be neither of the two boyfriends. We don't know. September 26th of 2025, Laken had a court hearing where she waived her right to a preliminary trial. The judge found sufficient probable cause, advancing the case to a grand jury for indictment review. No trial date has been set. This was her first public appearance since her arrest. She wore a black dress and answered softly when the judge asked if she wished to waive her preliminary hearing. So of course, when she was arraigned, they showed one clip of her as well. Wait, let me just see. Is it in this one? I think it's here. And then since then, this was the next one. So let's look at this clip quickly.
1-year-old Laken Snelling is facing charges of concealing the birth of an infant, tampering with physical evidence, and also abuse of a corpse. According to her arrest citation, police say the baby was found inside a closet. WKYT's Maggie Rickery is following the investigation. She was in the courtroom for today's hearing and has the details in our top story at 5.
21-year-old Laken Snelling pleaded not guilty to 3 charges: concealing the birth of an infant, tampering with physical evidence, and abuse of a corpse.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Brandon Marshall on behalf of call number 80, Laken Snelling.
Snelling was arrested Sunday, but court records show she was released on bond Monday night.
I understand.
I mean, you're arriving to be arraigned with lashes done, mascaras on, everything. I just mean, like, yeah, you can see she really cares about her image. Now, one would not normally say anything about that. Of course, it's great if someone takes great care of themselves, cares about the image, all of that. Just put it in context. Think about the charges she's facing. It just, to me, everything, the way people describe her, I'm like, I could see it. I could see it. She's got her red lipstick on. She's ready for court. And I'm like, oh my word. Remember, she bonded out. She's staying at home. She's not in jail. She's out on bond right now. Wow, okay.
You got terms as far as your pretrial release. Just make sure you're abiding by those terms.
Court records show the terms are Snelling must remain on home incarceration and live with her parents. According to an arrest citation, Lexington police were dispatched to a home on Park Avenue for an unresponsive infant Wednesday.
Look at her go. Sorry to interrupt that sentence, but vanity was the word I was looking for. Okay, not self-care. I'm talking about vanity. Lady, look at her. Oh my word, let's go back a little bit.
According to an arrest citation, Lexington police were dispatched to a home on Park Avenue for an unresponsive infant Wednesday. Police say they found a baby's body inside a closet. They say the infant was wrapped in a towel inside of a black trash bag. Snelling is the baby's mother. Lexington police say Snelling admitted to giving birth and concealing the birth by cleaning evidence and hiding everything in a trash bag. At this time, we do not know who initially called the police, but what we do know is Snelling is a UK student. A university spokesperson tells us she is a senior and enrolled. She is also a member of the school's stunt team.
Her preliminary hearing is set for September 26 at 8:30 a.m.
Which is what happened. That was the most recent hearing. That was this one, September 26th of 2025, when she had this court hearing. And let's just quickly see this one. So she waived her right to a preliminary trial. The judge found sufficient probable cause, advancing the case to a grand jury for indictment for review. No trial date's been set. I say yet. This was her first public appearance since her arrest. She wore a black dress and answered softly when the judge asked if she wished to waive her preliminary hearing. Charges: abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant. No murder charges yet. This depends on the outcome of the final autopsy results. So, yeah, I'm glad we can follow this case from here, because I am most certainly waiting for that. The death investigation is ongoing, with police continuing to conduct interviews with peers, roommates, boyfriends, extracting data from Laken's devices. They're waiting for results from the paternity tests and, of course, the final autopsy. The grand jury is expected to convene as early as October of 2025. Don't know when in October, but they say within 60 days of the waiver, which was on September 26th. So by the end of October, somewhere there, they're expected to convene, where prosecutors will present evidence to determine if felony indictments should be issued. I would like to say they should. Am I allowed to say? Or can we all chip in? Yeah, we would like that, grand jury. Thank you. Okay, potential additional charges such as murder or manslaughter could be added if the autopsy evidence supports homicide, like via neglect or suffocation, or worse. No trial date's been set yet, and the case will shift to circuit court upon indictment. And so, just this year, Lexington unveiled its first safe haven baby box, just 10 minutes away from Snelling's Park Avenue home. Monica Kelsey, the founder of Safe Haven Baby Boxes, said she wonders if Snelling even knew that resource was available to her. You don't ever put the baby in the trash if you're feeling like, oh no, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do. Okay, get in your car and drive there to the Safe Haven Baby Box. These baby boxes offer secure options for patients in crisis who can't safely care for their newborns. So, we shall see what happens next. I have one more clip to show you here, which is this one.
The court within the last hour. They include several new details about this case. The biggest one, though, is that Snelling told medical staff she believed her baby was alive at the time of his birth. We do want to warn you, though, some viewers may find these details disturbing. Now, the affidavit we obtained says Snelling told police she gave birth at 4 a.m. At that time, she said she didn't believe the baby was alive. Snelling said she later passed out, falling on top of the baby, and when she woke up, the baby turned blue and purple. At that time, the affidavit says Snelling believed the baby was dead, wrapped him up, and laid next to him on the floor, something she said gave her comfort in that moment. We know from Snelling's arrest citation the baby was found wrapped in a towel in a garbage bag inside a closet. Now, these documents say she admitted to police that she cleaned up and put the baby in that closet. After this, Snelling says she went to school but didn't go to class. She later went to UK's student clinic but didn't go inside. The affidavit says she then went home, where she was later detained by Lexington police. She was then taken to police headquarters and later to UK hospital, where it says she told staff the baby displayed some fetal movement, including a whimper. A search warrant of Snelling's phone showed searches pertaining to pregnancy, including photos of her during labor and, quote, concealed or hidden pregnancy. The affidavit says some of the photos of labor were deleted, which Lexington police leads them to believe, quote, other items could have also been deleted in an attempt to hide any evidence of the pregnancy, birth, and newborn baby. Now, this affidavit was attached to a request for a search warrant for Snelling's iCloud. It does also note that iCloud account is shared with Snelling's mother.
Okay, so that's what we have for now. And Grizzly Cat and I are working on getting copies of those documents. I think a lot is quite redacted, but still, if there's anything more that I can let you know, if I find anything else that's interesting that we haven't seen reported on in all these articles, in all the news clips, in all these sources, which I will link in the description box for you, well, I'll be back and I will certainly tell you more, right? I'm going to be following this case very closely. I hope you'll follow with me. And I just think this is so terrible. All right, everyone. In the meantime, stay safe. I'll keep you posted on this case and all the cases we follow. I hope that you've had a great day. If not, I hope your day gets better, or that this made it better somehow, even though the topic is absolutely terrible. I hope that spending time together as a community, you know, was great for you. It's always great for me. Thank you so much for being here. And I will most certainly see you in the next one. Stay safe.